If you like to indulge in the pleasures of wine, you might find that it costs you quite a lot of money. But there's also a way to make money from the beverage. liv-ex.com is an electronic marketplace for trading fine wine, and it's recently announced the top 50 brands for 2007. Joining us for more is Justin Gibbs, founding director of liv-ex.com. Justin, thanks very much for joining us. So you've just published your Power 50 with regards to these wines.
The Power 50, indeed.
Where's the best then? Where should everyone be putting their money?
Well, generally, and it's been the case for quite some time, you would stick with Bordeaux and the first grocer Bordeaux, Lafite Rothschild, Mouton Rothschild, Latour, well-known names. The point of the Power 50 was that rather than just taking a qualitative assessment, scores of the various critics, we took some did some quantitative analysis. So we looked at sort of production weighting and average prices achieved, price movements, etc., which captures a lot more wines, and therefore we could assess a brand impact. So while perhaps from this piece of analysis you can see that Lafite Rothschild is the #1 brand, its second wine, Caroline Lafite, which rates 140 in terms of its quality, actually comes 23rd in the analysis, because it is associated with Lafite. The Chinese love Lafite.
It trades off that brand.
It trades off the brand, and it has been the best price performer this year, across the board, up 100%.
You mentioned the Chinese, because this is quite fascinating over the last number of years. The amount of appetite that we're seeing, or the growth in appetite that we're seeing amongst Chinese and Indian consumers, or investors rather, are they typically going for those big names that they've heard before that you can trust?
They are, and I think they've probably been advised to, and it is the correct advice. But yes, it's as we know, when sort of new money chases markets and luxury goods and brands, they chase the best, and Lafite Rothschild and Margaux and Latour and these names are the best. So the demand is very much at the high end. At the lower end, at the drinking end that you and I might enjoy, the wines have perhaps not moved as aggressively.
We've been talking a lot during the show so far about the liquidity crisis, the credit crunch, all of these factors that we talk about on a daily basis. Looking at a chart of what liv-ex has done over this year, you can see that things did start to trail off a little bit since the peaks in July, was it? Is that all linked in?
It is. I mean, in the past, the wine market would lag the financial markets by about 2 years, but because we now have investment money, the alternative investment market has grown enormously for fine wine. Indeed, the big three fine wine funds in the UK over the last 5 years have invested 175 million euros in fine wine. So when you do get movements in the financial markets, there's a far more immediate impact than there was in the past. I mean, the liv-ex 100 has risen 140% over 2 years, and it has had 3 down months of 1% per month. So the impact is not huge, and there will always be the question of demand and supply. Demand continues to rise, supply is stagnant.
And at the moment we still have strength in some of these Asian economies, and that seems to be where some of this growth in demand is coming from.
We do indeed, but funnily enough, they're dollar-based economies, and the US has not been in the market at all. But these guys, despite the weakness in the US dollar, have clearly money to spend, and they've been chasing the market hard.
If I'm looking for something, a special gift, an investment present for somebody heading towards Christmas as we are, what's the kind of thing that we should be looking for?
It depends how much money you've got to spend. As a brand, Mouton Rothschild, I think, having produced 2 very strong vintages in 05 and 06, and having trailed the other first gross, I'd probably go for Mouton Rothschild.
Justin, thank you very much for joining us. Justin Gibbs, founding director of liv-ex.com.